Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your brother in the struggle coming right back at you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a real serious question for you. By the way, thank you for the beautiful people out there that have been subscribing to my channel, because this knowledge needs to be spread out all over the earth. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you this before I start today's video. I'm going to try to keep it as short as I can. Let me ask you this. Are you ready to go deeper into the rabbit hole? Are you ready to free your mind out of all the BS that's going on under this satanic matrix that we live under, whose end is very near? Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about the end of this world and the end of humanity as we know it, we're not talking about the total destruction of humanity or of the earth. No, it is the takeout of this evil, ridiculous and stupid system. And I'm going to prove it to you. Okay? Now, we all know that we've been living under a lie ever since our first parents on this earth were deceived. So, again, are you ready to go down deeper into the rabbit hole as to exactly what happened with Charlie Kirk's death? Okay? Are you ready? If you are, then without further ado, let us begin. Okay? Okay? But first you got to understand the main player, the people that carry out this hit. It's not this young Robinson, this young kid. No. If you believe that, then you are part of the problem. Okay? You got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, if you believe, you know when I stopped believing the FBI. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, know this. I was part of the United States Marines. I took my training back in Powers Island, South Carolina. Okay? Back in the 1980s. Ladies and gentlemen, what really disappointed me, not disappointed me, because I don't put my faith in this man system. I follow its rules as long as it doesn't interfere with my relationship with my Creator. Okay, so here we go. I became convinced that the FBI was evil, was an evil organization, as they call it, the three-letter agencies. The CIA, the FBI, the ATF, the DNS, and so on. Ladies and gentlemen, the minute they tried to, that was like a tryout. That was like a trial. The minute they tried, yes, your FBI, ladies and gentlemen, this is not conspiracy theory. Get that word out of your mind. Because that's what this matrix system wants you to believe, that the truth is a conspiracy theories. Why? Because they think they know better than you. They know that America is the most naive nation upon this planet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to prove them wrong. And let's grow. Let's grow together in this knowledge. And they will shake in their pants. But I digress. Let me just tell you. Did you know that the FBI was in on it on the 1996 bombing of the World Trade Center? Did you know that? The thing is, some of you are probably too young to remember or even care about that. But you got to understand history in order to understand what is coming down the pipe for America. Okay? So let us read and a couple of verses from the Bible, and then I'm done. Okay. First of all, let us understand the ritualistic death of Charlie Kirk. And the signs were and are everywhere, even though he was part of the Matrix. Oh yes, he was part of the club at a lower level, but he was part of the club. He was one of the Cloak brothers. Okay? He was part of the Matrix. He became a sacrificial lamb for the Matrix once he went against who? The lying, Kabbalistic, Luciferian, Lucifer-loving, and fake Jews who basically control the whole United States of America, whom they know is a corporation and was never a nation under God, but he was under whom they call Lucifer. Okay, and the fact that these people, they still call this being, this fallen angel, Lucifer, goes to show how deceived and how crazy they are when they consider him a god. Okay, Lucifer is his heavenly name, and not by his earthly biblical name, whose name is Satan, that old serpent called the devil, Abaddon, Apollyon. Okay, so, all right. So you understand, ladies and gentlemen? This is what we are dealing with. This is no laughing matter. This is no joke. This is who control this whole system. And he knows that it is at its ends, because they coming out now. They're telling you that they basically, we don't care. I mean, look what the Jews are doing in Palestine. They're taking kids' heads off, clean off. And of course, since they control the media, and like I said, since they control the United States of America, Hollywood, you name it, the media, NASA. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, why? For the same reason that people believe that God, I mean, they deceive. This whole world is deceived by design. A lot of people think, most people think that the Roman Catholic Church, who happens to be the first beast in the Bible, she's the first beast. It is mentioned in Revelation chapter 17. Okay? So people think that the Jewish people on the, I call it the Sodom and Gomorrah land. That's what it has become. Okay? Okay? Because did you know that in Tel Aviv, which is the capital of I believe, a main city in Israel. Did you know that, in fact, I believe Tel Aviv is the capital of Israel, if I'm not mistaken. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that in Tel Aviv, well, it didn't this year, but it threw the biggest pride celebration, which is LGBTQ plus. Okay, the alphabet people in Tel Aviv, isn't that supposed to be the Holy Land? But let's not kid ourselves, because even the Roman Catholic Church, what did they do the other day? They allow the alphabet people to come into their church. Okay? It's the abomination of desolation which the prophet Daniel mentioned in the Bible. So let's keep reading. So the Jews controls everything, ladies and gentlemen. So, and by the way, when you have a role to play, you play it in the name of power and riches. Okay? That's why the devil, as it is written and Luke 4, tempted Christ. Silly rabbit. How can you tempt the Son of God? And even he admitted in this conversation, and I'm going to read a little verse for you, how ridiculous he was and how ridiculous people that supposedly worship him are. Okay? They don't know who they're dealing with. Okay? They don't know. When you have a role to play, you play in the name of power, and you know what happened. Power corrupts absolutely. Okay, so when you have a role, you play it, and this last days of human existence as we know it. For instance, do you know that this very same Jews that you call, actually they call themselves YESH, they are God's chosen people, but their God is Lucifer. Here we go. As we know, for instance, did you know that this very same Jewish Kabbalist created the Federal Reserve back and the IRS back in 1913? Did you know that they got America into the Vietnam War? Did you know that? They also killed Kennedy. Why? Because Kennedy was going to expose them as the secret society that they were. In fact, if you don't believe me, just go to Google, YouTube, or Google and type the speech that killed John F. Kennedy. Okay? Did you know that they also brought about 9/11 and blamed it on a CIA agent named Tim Osman, aka also known as Osama bin Laden? You see how you've been tricked? You see how you've been lied to, ladies and gentlemen? And that's exactly where I want to bring you up there. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, forget about the media. Okay? Forget about facts. In fact, facts stands for what? 6. If you look at in numerology, 666. CBS is telling you, Columbia Broadcasting System. Columbia was what? As Minerva, as Semiramis, the wife and mother, simultaneously to Nimrod, who became the future bear god, whom the whole world has worshipped. So, please take a look at the links that I will send you, because they are deep and they are very, very serious. And the faster you understand what is shaping up, ladies and gentlemen, then you will understand, everything will become clear to you as to why the United States is coming a communist and a Sharia loving nation. Okay? I mean, just look what is happening in New York. These people are getting ready to, they think that they're getting ready to elect a communist as mayor. No, ladies and gentlemen. Your leaders are not elected, they are selected by the powers that be, by the people that runs the money. I mean, it is so logical and so easy to understand that even a baby can understand it. The people that runs the money are the ones that decide who's going to be in power. America has been sold out. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, America is the second beast, whether you want to believe it or not. So please take the links that I will send you. Please take a look what Candace Owens is saying about people going to the crime scene and completely taking evidence away. The whole system, never mind corrupted, because that's just a distraction word, just like the word racism is. Racism plays a psychological effect on American society. Racism does not exist. What exists is the eternal battle between good versus evil. In fact, you want to know where racism really exists? Between your own kind. Take a look at Chicago, okay? Black on black crime. Street justice, gang banging, and they are letting themselves be set up. Baltimore, Detroit, Camden, New Jersey, Memphis, Tennessee. You understand, and you ask yourself where this kid's getting all these guns from and all this drugs from, and it is coming from the same government that is about to destroy you. Didn't I tell you many moons ago, even when I had my old YouTube channel, I told you, which was, by the way, terminated. Because the truth, ladies and gentlemen, goes against the algorithm. So ladies and gentlemen, here we go. I told you many moons ago that not just National Guards were going to be part of Chicago, but the United Nations troops will come to Chicago, will go into LA, will go into New York. Ladies and gentlemen, America is asleep, and it is time to wake up, because only those that are awakened are the ones that are going to be saved. And this is the purpose of this message, because, ladies and gentlemen, this gospel shall be preached unto all the world, okay? And then shall the end come, as it is written in Matthew chapter 24, verse 14. You understand? So, ladies and gentlemen, please, this thing gets deeper than you ever imagined. This is evil beyond anything that you imagine. In fact, let me read to you two verses. Two verses or a couple of verses from the Bible. First, let us go to Luke 4, chapter 4. So I just told you, Luke chapter 4. And you want to see how stupid the devil is, right? Okay. And this is exactly the humans. How, imagine if the devil looks stupid in this, imagine how how humans look trying to be wannabe devils. Luke chapter 4, verse 1. I'm not going to say Jesus because that's not his name. Because remember, Jesus came from Zeus. Remember, they try to mess with the Bible. In fact, there are 16 books that are missing. You know, as I've been telling you all these years, which the Roman Catholic Church, of course, took, like the book of Enoch. Anyway, verse 1. In Christ, Yahushua, being full of the Holy Ghost, returned from Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness. 2. being 40 days tempted of the devil. And in those days he did eat nothing. And when they were ended, he afterward hungered. 3. And the devil said unto him, If thou be the Son of God, command this stone that it be made bread. Ladies and gentlemen, you see how stupid that is and how ridiculous that sounds? You're talking about the Son of all creation. And this dude is talking about, can you turn stone into bread? 4. And Christ answered him, saying, It is written, that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of God. 5. And the devil taking him up into a high mountain, shew unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. 6. And the devil said unto him, All this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I will give it. So you see, again, you see how ridiculous it sounds there? Who gave it to him? The creator of all things. Nine. And he brought him to Jerusalem, set him up. I mean, it's not even worth keep on reading. He's so ridiculous. And that's what human beings that actually worship this thing are. Now let us go to Revelation chapter 2 verse 9. Chapter 2 verse 9, right? Please take a look at this. Look what it says. It's beautiful. Okay? If you think that those Jewish people in the Holy Land, okay, as you've been led to believe through the deceit. Because remember, as I said, everything is a lie. Nothing is serious. Everything is a freaking lie in this planet, in this world, okay? Ever since we fell from grace due to a lie through the act of disobedience. Revelation chapter 2 verse 9. I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogues of Satan. 10. Fear some of the things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil should cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. You understand? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we must wake up from this slumber, from this trip that we've been under. Okay? Because we've been lied to. Okay? So, ¿ah? Yeah, dígale que voy ahora. So yes, no, it's just that I have visitors here. So, let us go to Ephesians chapter 6. Ephesians chapter 6, ladies and gentlemen. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principality, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So you see, it is getting real, ladies and gentlemen. It is getting real. This is no joking matter. I've been telling you for years what is coming, what is coming down the pipe, and it has come. And many of them has come to fruition. And it's only going to get worse. So now you see how America is taking shape of self-destruction, with the Somalian taking over from Minnesota to Michigan to New York, and the communists too. So this whole land will become what? A land of demons, because everybody is deceived. That's why the United States has fell victim into believing that this was God's truth chosen people, the people in the Holy Land, which is a lie. I just told you about the Pride Month, but in June that they have every year. Of course, this year they didn't have it because Iran, who are the descendants of the Persian Empire, kicked their ass, big time. Okay, and they're coming, and they're not only going to come for the Holy Land. Those people will be invited in. That's why the stage is being set. And America, again, being the most naive nation on this planet, is letting it happen. Why? Because it has been worked, because the power that, including Europe, the 10 horns, which the Bible talks about, they hate America. They go against America because America is in the way of their new world order. And by the way, if you think that it's just going to stop with what's this guy's name, Charlie Kirk. If you think that it's going to stop with him, no, ladies and gentlemen, there's more serious things coming down the pipe to America, to bring America to its knees from within. Okay? So once you see this video and the links that I will share with you here, I hope that you keep spreading this message and stay awake. This is all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. Love you all. Take care.